This episode of Tim's Enthusiast Garage is brought to you by Southwest Lotus Center, the southwest of England's premier Lotus and Noble service center. And by Lucor Automotive. No job is too big or too small for Lucor. They'll tackle anything. It has been a while since I've updated you. I apologize. COVID has thrown a wrench in several of my businesses, but from these pictures, what you can probably see is that this has transformed from a simple find it and get it running to a complete body off restoration. I kind of never thought I would do a restoration. In fact, years of going to RM auctions, Mecum auctions, Bonhams, Barrett-Jackson, I was sort of committed to never undertaking a full restoration because there's no question. The amount of time and effort that people like Rich and so many others are going to have in this vehicle cannot possibly be recouped by sale. It's a lifer.
Would you like to have some Lotus? No. No, I'm not.
If you catch a somewhat somber tone in my voice as I narrate this, that's probably because the amount of work, the sheer undertaking of this project has just gone from like huge to absolutely unfathomable. Spending time with Rich as he disassembled this car, you really get an idea of a difference of a line-assembled car and a hand-built car. Things are just done differently on cars that are assembled by robots or on assembly lines and cars that are lovingly built by hand. This car really had some unique features, even when compared with other Lotus Esprits, and that just sort of made it that much harder and that much longer to disassemble. Rich fought the good fight and did finally get the car completely ripped down so that the body could be taken to the body shop and they could start the mechanical modifications and transformation of basically what is the chassis of the car, the fuel tanks, the cooling system, etc.
Oh, good lordy. There's the pedals.
COVID has kind of blown out timelines. Finally, we're getting the car split apart. You'll see footage of that in this video. This is the lovely radiator that my assistant Austin will help me present. Austin.
Vanna?
Austin's uploading something to YouTube, so can't be bothered right now. I might be able to do this. So here is the radiator. Ooh, it made it all the way from an Asian country. I can't remember which one. And it is pretty darn nice. A lot of you have said that running one of these aluminum radiators in this car is futile. Except for the people who are running one of these successfully, and I will hopefully be one of those. We will not rigid mount it so that there's metallurgical stress directly on the radiator, and I'm confident that we should get between but somewhere between 5 miles and 100,000 miles use out of this.
And it's shiny, so it's worth at least 10 or 15 horsepower.
10 or 15 horsepower at least. And it hasn't, in the shipping, it hasn't gotten too much damage. This is an eBay special, which you may remember from the last video. So this is number one thing for the Lotus. James Webb, Southwest Lotus Center. You're too good to me. Do I wear it? Do I frame it? Let me know in the comments. Check this out. Vintage Marlboro Alfa Romeo racing team. My neck's a little bit bigger than that, but I think it could happen. Frame it, wear it. Hot. I cry. Thank you, James. I don't know what to say. This is awesome. Again, vintage, camel racing. If you're a Lotus fan already, I don't really need to say anything else. Hot. There will be an elf as part of this livery. The livery is going to be pretty much as it was the first time around. Maybe a little bit different. As time goes on here, I'm kind of changing my mind a little bit on some things, but elf will definitely be on the car. Gaskets. Thanks, James. I love that he labeled it like this. I'm not going to open this right now, but gaskets that the S4 badly needs. I'm sure. I'm going to hand this to you. Thank you, Vanna. This is the lip spoiler, which he's nicely encapsulated in here so it doesn't get damaged. Look, he even uses these like corrugate pipes. I love it. He's so nice. Throwout bearing. We don't know if this is bad on my car, but new is better. Pressure plate. New clutch disc. I'll let you get in there on that clutch disc. Ooh, look at that disc material. That's going to be some grabby. I don't know what's in here, but it's a toaster that we don't get in this country, and I feel almost the same about this as I do about cars we don't get in this country. Thanks. Well packaged, sticker still on them, Brembos with pads. A braided steel clutch line. This runs from the front to the back of the car and replaces the red one that they've been having all sorts of. How much of a headache was this? Oh. Braided steel clutch line. No more clutch unengagement. Belts. Can you see those belts? There's belts in there. So that brings to a close our unboxing segment of this part of the video.
There's a screw here.
Oh, okay.
So there's 3 to bolt it down, and there's also...
How does this go through?
How does what?
Underneath? What? You get in this hole to put it in through there?
No, they're all in from inside here. I had to peel all the carpet out of the trunk to gain access to all this stuff.
Interesting.
All the bumper bolts, you have to peel the carpet back. There's bumper bolts inside the trunk. There's bumper bolts that drop through the trunk.
I'm actually surprised to see the bumper off, because all the Lotus guys are like, oh, taking these bumpers off.
This is part of what's left of one of the. So I'm gonna build a new.
What?
I'm gonna build a new bolt strip to go, because it's a strip of metal that has bolts welded to it, and it drops down, and then when you're underneath, you can put the bumper on, and then so you can put your nuts on from underneath.
Wow.
So, needless to say, it took me a really long time to get this bumper off. Water sat in here and destroyed it. So, luckily, after I build all the new stuff to do this, to put it back together, like the new bolt strips, because like this is one of the bolt strips here.
And this is like a caulk or something?
So yeah, there was caulk around all the holes. I actually had to use a pry bar to get the fin off. Yeah, I'll have a whole bunch of hardware for you in. And honestly, I would do them all in stainless steel.
Yeah, for sure.
I mean, nobody's ever going to take this car apart again, but at least if you buy them in a good grade stainless steel, they'll look cool.
Right.
And these braces, when I make them, I can use stainless steel strips and just punch holes in them and weld the bolts into them, and then it's a done deal. We don't have to ever worry about it again. I mean, it's overkill, and nobody will see those because they're under the carpet.
I'm excited. Oh boy, could that be any more? Oh, it's still got water in it. Wow, that's nasty.
So we're gonna throw that one away because it's gross. Here, would you like some Lotus?
Oh, that's cancer. 3, 4, 5 all have this Delco Moraine horribleness. The worst thing about these is when you trip the ABS circuit, it basically cancels the braking. So it gives you reverse pedal pressure, and then there's no braking until it resets, and then it goes. You get more braking.
I remember
it
those.
like locks and then unlocks, and locks and unlocks. But it's not like ABS is like. Bah, 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 bah. It's not like that. It's like, and then you die. You've
And you crash.
You've crashed. It's too late. So it's pretty bad.
I remember mid-90s ABS when I was working on it. It wasn't.
Nightmare. And this is probably real similar to GM stuff.
It's very similar to what was on the W bodies, on the Cutlasses and Grand Prix.
Okay, yeah, that would make sense. This all looks fairly
They even had the exact same reservoir.
Really?
It's like the throw arms from the motors are okay. I mean, they're crusty, but they might clean up okay. Hopefully I won't have to rebuild those.
Cool. What about the AC up here? No hope?
It'll all depend on the condenser. If it's rotted, then we'll have to find one. If not, I mean, the AC lines, we can build new ones. So the hoses I'm not worried about. That's just a standard receiver dryer, so it wouldn't be hard to replace it. The big thing would be to get it all back together and see if the compressor's any good, but I mean, we can certainly source a compressor from somewhere. So after fiddle farting around with this thing for quite some time, I finally figured out that I missed 2 bolts on the tunnel, I guess you'd call it. They were completely hidden underneath the carpet. I found the forward 2. I thought the seatbelt bolts were the rear 2, but there's actually 2 more in the center. And it's finally time to remove this body from this car.
Now, it's important to mention at this point that while we've both worked on Esprits, and I've done pretty much everything you can imagine to an Esprit, both right and wrong, this procedure is, I don't know, it really puts you in touch with the car in a way that I had not previously been. Both Rich and I were extremely, profoundly impacted by the design and the beauty and simplicity of the architecture of the frame of the car. And when I say we were genuinely sort of moved by it, I mean genuinely moved by it. Here's Rich moved beyond words.
So there you have it. Body's off the chassis. I missed these 2 bolts right here. They were buried under the carpet. I couldn't feel them through the carpet. I finally decided I'm missing something under the carpet. It's got to be center mass where my problem is. So I peeled the carpet off the inside of the vehicle. Lo and behold, I had a bolt here and a bolt here. I removed those and everything's free. So if you're ever wondering, there's 2 bolts here that go in through the front trunk. There's 2 bolts here that go through the floor pans from the body out into the outside. You got 2 bolts here, 2 bolts here, 2 bolts in the back that go down through the chassis out of the engine bay, or the trunk behind the engine bay. Then you have 2 bolts here that go in from underneath the carpet. You have 2 bolts here that go in from underneath the carpet, the ones I forgot. And then you have your seat belt bolts that go through here. So there's actually 6 across the center chassis. Now, by far the worst bolts to get out were these 4 bolts right here. They hold the bottom of the steering column, which also doubles as the structure that holds all the pedals. So your gas pedal, your clutch, and your brake pedal mount off of a bracket that's bolted down to this. There's also one extra bolt over here that holds a support strut for the dash, so you got to get that one out as well. So there you go. Now it's time to clean this thing up. I got to finish pulling the nose off the bottom of the front because we have some repairs to do to that. And then this thing's going over to the body shop to get sanded down and a new fresh coat of black paint thrown down on it. So there we have it. Lotus Esprit S4, body off. Took me way longer than it should have, but it is what it is.
Just got a call from Lucor. I'm at Lucor, and I walk in. Ah! Good God! Oh, I almost want to leave it just like that. We've
actually been having conversations.
We're gonna weld some seats in it.
Naked frame race.
0 to 60 in like 2 seconds. I can feel it. The galvanized chassis on this Lotus is indeed a wonder, and it's been off to Performance Auto Spa where it's sort of been cleaned up, defunked, and basically prepped for mechanical restoration. Some of the parts are going to be bead blasted, repainted, that sort of thing, but we wanted to be as ginger as possible with the galvanized frame itself, which is in fantastic shape. So, that's the Lotus update. Hopefully it didn't come across as too much of a grim update. That really is not my desire. The car is coming along quite nicely. I'm pretty excited about it. In the next update, you'll meet the guys at the body shop. We'll talk a little bit more about where we're at on the project and some more parts that have come in from Southwest Lotus Center and some other partners we've got on the project due to the fact that almost everything is being replaced, including much of the interior that I thought I was going to save. No, it's going to be pretty much a brand new interior. When I say completely new interior, I mean pretty much every bit of the interior. And I'm pretty excited about the interior. It's done by a guy who does completely custom interiors, and I think it's going to look great. We'll see. Stay tuned. I can't tell you how much I appreciate each and every one of you subscribers. Thank you so much for watching. We'll see you on the next update.